9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get into the TipTut zone.
Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the TipTut zone. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you're having a lovely Friday. Hope you all can hear me okay and see me okay. It's pretty dark, isn't it? Should I turn on this old light over here? Bumbo, what up? What happened to the baggins? Oh, that's bright. Jesus, that's too bright. It needs to be like 1%. Oh, that's better. You're just Bumbo now. What happened to the Baggins, Mr. Baggins? Jeremy Stewart, what is up? Clash and Royale, hello. Burnsan, hey. Thank you for being members, Burnsan and Jeremy Stewart. Hope you guys are feeling good on this lovely, chill Friday afternoon. Oh, my pup has come to visit me because my wife Emma has shut the door. So today, what are we doing today? Today we are doing a drawing of a forest. It's got a little hammock with a tree and a rock. So this is for a D&D campaign that my friend is writing and I'm illustrating, and then I'm going to release it online. And this is like a village scene. It's a village tea shop, okay, next to a river, and there is a sleeping giant named Yumpo. There should be a barrel next to him as well, apparently, so I'll add that in a forest that is like perpetually falling. So this green grass will be covered with leaves that are just perpetually falling from these massive trees that is stuck forever in autumn, basically. And this is like the first test scene that I've been doing, you know. Jeremy found a fountain pen and its refills that he bought 5 years ago, so that's nice. Oh, I love finding old pens. There's something about old pens that just, I love them. They really get me going, you know. Especially an old fountain pen. They don't make fountain pens like they used to. Right, let's crack on then. Let's crack the heck on. I'm going to start by finishing off the roof of this little tea shop. I think I need a chimney, but what I also think is it needs to be like clay coloured. So I think I'm going to use this brown as like the darker colour. You can see I've already sketched in a little chimney here. Coming down the chimney, and then it's just him and me. Bringing Christmas cheer. Gonna do it all year. Yeah, so that's the vibe for today. We're just going to have some nice relaxing D&D illustrations. And maybe, you know, maybe some other weeks it'll be characters. Quite bright, isn't it? But I don't know if that's a bad thing. Yeah, maybe some days it'll be characters, maybe some days it'll be environments, maybe other days it'll be something else. Don't know yet. Yeah, that works with the 50% gradient. Awesome. Where do you find different types of brushes for Adobe or Procreate? Usually I just Google it, believe it or not. It's like really as simple as that. I've got like a whole bunch of leaf brushes that I've been using for this one, obviously. All these different types of grass and forest brushes and things. But this one I was just using, Evolve, was part of like the core Procreate experience, you know. So that's nothing special. I do think what we're going to need is another colour though, that is like halfway between boop and boop, like that. Oh, Phoebe. Phoebe wants to go out. And she's moaning. Let's let her out quick. Let's just remove that guy. Okay, come on. No? No. She changed her damn mind, and then I'll sit down, and then she'll change her damn mind again. That's just how it's going to work. There we go. I feel it. Right, Phoebes, I'm going to get up and I'm going to let you out, okay? But you better fucking do it. It's that goddamn Phoebe son causing chaos, honestly. Hey, Altal, what's up, man? Everyone, this is the guy. This is the guy what's done it. The guy what has done this adventure on which we're all about to advent. He wrote this fucking thing. And I play tested it the other day and it was loads of fun. Oops. So what do you think so far? Such a damn cat. Yeah, tell me about it, Jeremy. Hey, Toph's a good girl though. She's sitting on the sofa. It's true, Altal is the guy. He is the guy. If you ever hear anyone talking about being the guy, that's it, that's him. It's Alpha Lock, that son of a gun. And whoop. Oh, come on. Definitely would have worked if I was the guy, but it turns out I'm not the guy. There we go. That's more like it. Is that a good colour? Yeah, that's a pretty good colour. We'll stick with that. Oh, trying to fill stuff and then you've missed like the teensiest bit is one of the most infuriating things, in all honesty, isn't it? Got to fill in these windsills like it's nothing. So I'm getting all the block colours down basically, and then what we do is we go back and add like all the details on top, and that allows us to just really focus on getting the form right before we worry about any of the details. So for example, we'll get rid of that so it's a bit easier to see shit. Al, I know this grass is green, but don't worry, it's going to be covered with yellow leaves at some point. In fact, I can turn it off if it's too distracting. Yeah, I am a dude, but I am not the dude. This is true. Let's hide the sketch temporarily. Yeah, that's looking nice. Oh, that's looking a real nice. I don't know if what we want is like a nice glowing forge in here or something. Perchance, you know. So whether I should just do like black interior windows for now. And then we can come back and we can fill them in later on with like a nice colour. Maybe a wee bit of detail. But some of this is going to be completely covered by stuff anyway, so also probably not worth it. You like the colour palette? Yeah, man, it's the same colour palette I've been using forever. For all of my things. It's a beautiful colour palette. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. I'd love to claim credit for that, but I can't. I wouldn't do that to Gigantic. It's a colour palette by Gigantic, and man, is it fucking perfect for almost everything. Honestly, I think I've yet to come across a scenario that I haven't been able to use it in and it just works. It's baffling how good it is. Right, so I need some wood. because of course those wooden window frames. So I'm picturing these houses being clay, with like clay roof tiles and stuff, but I don't know whether that's coming across as it being like a trellised window. Maybe I need to add some creepers going up it. And we can add the interior of this house later on as well. I think that's probably the best idea. Like that. Nice, that works. Boom. Looking good, baby. Yeah, that looks nice. I like that. I don't think I'll put trellis in this other window though. I think I want to put little doorses on it. So let's do that. Let's have like they look kind of like that. Maybe I don't want little doors. Maybe, yeah, I think the doors will be distracting. Maybe what I want is just more trellis. We've got 1, 2, 3. And for this one, I think just 2. Work nicely. Teapot on the windowsill. I got you, boo. There's a little teapot down there. Oh, it's a serving hatch. Come on, what's wrong with me? Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Al, if I don't take any of your suggestions, it's simply because I didn't look up at the chat in time, okay? Just so you know. Because that is a banger of a suggestion right there. This is why you're the writer. So many layers and groups. Yeah, I tried to... Hey Mel, first of all. Welcome to the live stream. How you doing? I tried to keep them separate so that I can go back and change it later on if I need to. Now, the way I'm picturing these teapots, Al, is they're like... Obviously, they're gnomic tinkerer's teapots, like mechanized. So I'm almost picturing them made of like brass or something, or copper. Obviously, this one is very far away. So I don't know if you'll see much of the detail on it. But that's what I'm picturing. And I've got little details and stuff. And of course they shine. Ting! It's an organised way to draw things out. Yeah, unfortunately you run out of layers real quick though. So you do have to be careful. For example, once I'm happy with something, I'll probably like then merge them, you know? That's what I usually do. Sweet, so we've got the base. Let's alpha lock that base in case we need to draw other stuff on it, and then let's clipping mask the one above it. And let's do a little bit of brickwork details. I think that'll be nice. And what I'm trying to do with these is hint rather than straight up. show, you know, because there's going to be so many details on this whole like environment that I'll be here all fucking day if I have to draw every brick. What I do want though is to make that better, the axle of the water wheel that comes in, so we'll be doing that, and also bringing in some details here, like for example do you know what, I'm feeling brave. This is going to be on one layer. Let's save a layer. Bring in a little platform. Then we can add a few cups and stuff to it. That doesn't look good though. That just needs to be that colour. And we can just add some details like this. We also need a shadow on the old teapot. How come it looks like the bars you erased are still on the pot? Oh, because it's on my sketch layer. Boop. There you go. The sketch layer is turned on. Yeah, it is, Jeremy, don't worry. When you zoom out, they're not there. Good catch there. And this little platform here looks a bit wonky, but that's okay. This little platform here is going to need some legs. Unless we do it as a barrel. I don't know though. Yeah, I feel like that little platform works nicely. Let's do that. Then we'll need this one. And let's have this little platform be made out of wood. So what we do is add some slats. And we should probably add some shadow. Although I'm just guesstimating where that shadow would fall at the moment, so let's leave that for now and I'll add it in later. So if we've got a teapot, it needs a couple of cups, obviously, doesn't it? And they can be the same colour. Perfecto. Bam. Looking good. Alright, let's add some details then. So now we need like clay brick details on here. So we'll take our darker brown. Add in a little bit of border. Some cracks in the clay and things like that. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. Young Phoebe would like to come back. Who would like to say hello to young Phoebe? Shall I go get her? Hey. Ah, she doesn't want cuddles, guys. She's just rushing past. Hey, Kadala, what's up? Welcome. How you doing? Do I prefer illustration or animation? Animation, definitely, I'm better at, which makes me prefer it. Phoebe was not in the mood for playing today. She ran straight past. And I'm not about to pick her up if she doesn't want to give out love. That's not how we do things. Right, I'm going to try something. Clipping mask. Reduce to 50%. Oh no, that's the wrong. Is that the right brush? No. Drawing brush, evolve brush is what we want. 50% and make them larger. Yeah, look kind of good. Just going to add some detail to the house. That's too dark there. I want it the same colour. Just a little bit of texture to the clay. And then we want another layer on top. There's like an overlay layer that we will clipping mask. And I think what I want to do for that is get some of this brown in. Yeah, there we go. Let's make that smaller. And we'll bring in this shadow. But I think what I've been doing actually is not overlay. I think for this scene I've been doing hard light. Because what we want is the shadow from the roof. Like that. And then I've been reducing the hard light down around 20% or something. Yeah, that looks nice. Although luminosity maybe a little bit better. And then let's make it like a real dark brown instead of black. Yeah, that's nicer. Sweet. Cool, cool, cool. Looking good. Starting to come together. Is animation not illustration that moves? That's exactly what it is, yeah, but it's simpler, right? Because you don't do all the shading and shit on animation because it just takes fucking forever. But you are essentially correct, Al, yes. Oh, the secret's going on in a group chat. Let me have a look at it. Silly buggers. Right, I think that's looking pretty good. Nice tree. Got good tree action. See on this tree, look, we've got a good old shadow. That's been hard lighted. Let's bring that up a bit. And it's blurred because it's leafy. Look at this hammock. Don't you want to just rest in that hammock? Just fucking hang out there. Yeah, I know, Jeremy, right? The like hard light shadow thing is fucking so useful. It saved my ass so many times when I don't know how to shade things. Right, you shouldn't focus on one area too much. Okay, they say you should like draw a little bit and then move somewhere else and draw a little bit and move somewhere else. This is my favourite hammock though, Mel, out of both of them that I've drawn. Although, coming back to this little ham's hammock, we definitely need to bring in a few more roots. Get that alpha lock off and inking. So it can cling to the tree a bit better. And we'll add in a little bit of shading. There we go. So this is like the collection of little things that I've drawn so far. Okay. Plus some grass. So we'll close off all these. Bosh. And some grass that I've drawn. Although I'm not sure if I'm keeping the grass or whether I'm making the grass yellow or whatever, so I don't know. You have neighbours in your apartment complex and they have a hammock dangling from the railing guards. Oh, that sounds lovely. We set up a hammock in our garden last summer, and oh man, it's a game changer. Right, so I also have a 3D render that I started this whole thing from. So I did a little mock-up using prefabricated stuff, because drawing is hard, right? And that also gives me useful stuff like showing me where the shadows should lie on all of my bits and bobs. So for example, that kind of vaguely rectangular thing there. But I have forgotten to draw the decking, so I'm going to draw the decking first, and then we're going to go back and do that afterwards. So that's going to be called house, roof, and then this is going to be called deck. Going to draw a fat deck. I mean, I would just say just get a fucking hammock. What are they going to do? Kick you out, and then you won't have a place to live. Oh wait, yeah, it's quite bad, isn't it? Probably shouldn't do that then. Don't take life advice from TipTut. He's terrible at stuff. Mostly. Right, so here's what I want to happen. I want a brush that's a little bit bigger than that. That's perfect. And we know what colour this should be. It should be brighter, but it's also more in the shade. So we're going to choose our slightly larger one. Slightly larger, slightly darker one. And we're going to draw ourselves these planks just as the edge of that little fence bit. Then we're going to take this floor colour and we're going to draw ourselves the top of the deck. So that's going to come over here like this. Should be coming out to like there-ish, I think it should, shouldn't it? Nice. And we're going to have what I want is like a couple of bits poking through, you know? A couple bits of grass poking through the deck. So remind me if I forget to draw that. Because it is what I want. Oh good, everyone's having a housing crisis. They aren't that expensive. What, hammocks or houses? Hammocks aren't expensive. Houses are expensive. In case you hadn't heard. Sometimes it really do be like that. Nice, and then this one will be obviously the same heckin' colour. Nice, so there's like the basis for our deck. Just kick their ass and tell them it's your house now. Yeah, that works. Definitely works. Property damage, property damage. Oh, Jeremy, you've been timed out by Streamlabs. Streamlabs is like heavily policing you and your anti-capitalist views. You said ass, that's what it doesn't like. Shouldn't have said ass. I can say ass, but no one else can say ass. Okay, what we need here is the tops of this little fence section. And then we need the end of the little fence section. Very nice. And I feel like for this I'm actually going to need my slightly more delicate brush. Cool. Looking good. Let's bring that sucker up. And we'll take this colour. And just neaten it a bit. What we actually need is you. And here we'll need you. And also here. Probably don't need any under those bits. It's too far away. Then we cover up the hard edges with a bit of grass. Just trying to shut the socialists down. Yeah, that's it. Shouldn't have gone around spreading that filthy socialism around here, my friend. Don't you know who you're talking to? Alright, so we have the edge of our house. Which in hindsight definitely like chonks up a bit over here. Let's go back to this area here and add in the remnants of these a bit further down. Oh, I just covered it up. I knew it. I knew it. I'm a fool. What I actually need to do is go to the deck layer and erase these bits. Because I drew them on the wrong layer. This is the issue sometimes, Mel, with having lots of layers, is that you're not good at keeping track of them. Yeah, that definitely needs to move, doesn't it? Oh no. Alright, let's do it now. Let's just add it on this layer here. We'll be merging them momentarily, so it's not an issue. Nab this colour. And voila, the house is now level. Cool. So what we have right here now is a deck that's ready to become a deck. And you do that with a little bit of faint line work. This deck here needs to come out. Oops. And then just to check that my plan is working, you can then come in with a 50%. And we'll go over these momentarily. So you get something that looks vaguely like wood. Cool, I think that's working. This definitely needs more darkness on it though. How was I thinking the house wasn't level? Am I on the wrong layer? Kadala, no. Oh no, I'm good. Don't worry, I'm good. In fact, I can merge these now. Let's merge them all. Let's be brave. Fuck it, I'm really happy with the house. So let's merge these layers. Oh, I don't want to merge the shadow though. So what I want to do is I want to take this shadow. Okay. Pop it above that. I'll merge because I'm happy. And then that's actually pretty okay. We just need to then erase that bit. Nice. We're being brave with this. We're not being cowardly. Sitting around, pretending that we're not good artists, just being scared about things. We're doing it properly. And we're saying, no, I know how to draw stuff. I don't need a million layers. And then after that, we're getting scared and going, oh shit, why didn't I give myself a million layers? And then we learn from that experience. I'm going to chop those up a bit more, because I can. pull them in half too. There we go. It's called laziness. It's going to be covered up by a water wheel in a minute anyway. Nobody needs to see it. Nobody needs to get upset. It's all good. Kadala, can you do a tiny line on the right side of the door on the floor upwards? I've done it. I did it. Kadala, I did it. A tiny line. I know what you're talking about. I mean right here. Right there. I did it. Don't you worry. Does it look like the turving table is slightly downwards and to right? Yeah, it is. I fucked it up, but it's too late now. Thank you for pointing it out though, but it is too late. I fucked it. But I appreciate the feedback. I'm bad at drawing, just in general, so it helps. I'm going to say it's part of the charm of this little tea shop, you know? It's old, it's all falling apart and bending. All this dirt, grass needs to be in shadow as well. If I can but help it. I said but help. Did I just do that on the rough layer? I did, no, never mind. There's nothing there that needs doing. I can do it again. I'm not super worried about that bit because that bit's all going to be covered up. Awesome. Let's add some tufts. It's tuft time, baby. It's time for a tufting. I'm going to tuft it. Tuft this mother hecker. Tufts. Tufts everywhere. Oh no, criticize away, Jeremy. Criticize away, because I can choose to fix it or not. That's my decision. But if I don't see it, I can't choose to fix it. So feel free to criticize. Is that about the right size of tuft? Does it need to be a slightly larger tuft? Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? I'm tufting. Little bits of grass poking through the edge, the old decking. Some bits are going to poke up. There'll be some bigger tufts over here, just tufting away. Get a slightly darker tuft, just tufting. Hey bro, I heard you like tufts. So I added some tufts to your tufts. Nice little bit of character poking through there. We did it, boys. No, now that I have your permission, it's absolute garbage. Worst thing I've seen in my life. Do that clicking? That's the worst thing I've seen in my life. See, difference, Jeremy, is that's not criticism, is it? Where in there are you providing information for me to grow? That's not criticism. That's just being an asshole. So, I think you should get the heck out of here, Jeremy. I think you should just get the heck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Right, now on my sketch, there was a little table. Little tea table. So we will add that, but I'm also going to be brave. Go onto my luminosity layer, which is all my shading. We're going to go black. We're never going to go back. Sorry. And with a slightly larger evolve brush for the nose. And referencing our sketch layer. We're going to just add in the shadow of the house. Maybe like that, or would it be more like... That looks good, doesn't it? Hell yeah. Let's Add in a little bit more shadow. Underneath there. Just a little touch, of course. Nice. That looks good. That looks good. Doesn't that look good? God, I'm surprised that it looks good. I fucking did it, boys. Although, does the wall need a little bit of lightness around here? I think it does. It's too neat. This edge is too neat. It needs like a little... Oops, maybe not that much. Maybe smaller. Did you make any of the 3D images or find them? Ah, yeah, good question. So, this was like a prefab, so I found a lot of them, but I actually made the hammocks, like, out of stupid quick polygons, right? So I found like a model of a... This is actually 3 models. There's a model of the dude lying down flat, and then there's a model of him sunk into the ground. So there's like a model at like... there's a model at this angle. There's a model coming down at this angle. And then... like that obviously is going to go. So that's like him all built together. These trees obviously are models, rocks are models. That's just a tree sunk into the ground. Water wheel and the house were separate models. That was like a one-sided shack that I duplicated. I made the tables, I made like the bench, I made the hammocks, you know, all that sort of thing. And I use it as a reference because I'm not great at perspective or shading. So I use that as a reference for creating the shadows and the more complex 3D shapes, if that makes sense. What brush is that? I'm using 2 main brushes, the Evolve brush in Procreate, the Tinderbox brush for details, and then I have a selection of like forest brushes that just give me loads of quick leaves and shit to work with. If I scale those up, you'll see like it gives you loads of texture and stuff, which is really nice for a forest scene like this, because fuck drawing all those individual leaves, that would take me all year. Right, that's looking good. I'm fairly happy with that. Okay, that's nice. What isn't nice is this shading in the river. So we're going to grab our eraser and we're just going to tidy all that up. Just that's from where we smudged all of that shading under the house. So what I actually want is like the edge of the sunlight to creep in here. So I'm actually just going to quite lightly brush over those, and then I'll fix that on the edge of the river there. Awesome. Let's bring back in our sketch. So this is what we're looking at. There's a rock there you can't see, so I'll just make it a little bit smaller. So what we're looking at so far, I think it's looking pretty good. The giant looks like the dude that presented Crystal Maze. What? Was that Brian Blessed? Was it Brian Blessed? Crystal Maze. Brian. Richard O'Brien? No, he's like super bald and creepy. Are you thinking... Who are you thinking of? Richard Oyade, the new Crystal Maze guy. Excuse me, the bounciest booty. Hello and welcome to the live stream. How you doing? Yeah, the creepy bald guy from the Dungeons and Dragons movie. That was terrible. Yeah, I remember him. You need to grow a beard, obviously. Right, let's move away from the house for a moment, because you should never focus on one bit for too long, apparently. Should we try and do a bit of this riverbed? I think that would be fun. That needs to go under the grass. Stick that there. Nice. So we've now got these little tufts. They can merge. I'm happy with those. And then we can group those, rename it to house. Bonk. Nice. And then let's actually group those as well and call it house. Nice. Cool. So I think I'm going to do like the river wall as one layer and then sand for the other bits. So the river wall has to be mud. So let's do that the same color as the house, because the house will be built from the river clay. So there you go. Richard Ayade did present it recently, yeah, but I think Al was talking about like the 90s fucked up crazy version of Crystal Maze where they actually killed people at the end. You know? You guys remember that one, right? Is that the end of my music? Ugh, rubbish. There we go, I got it back. Oh, that's fuck. Don't worry, I allowed it. You can say fuck, but you can't say ass. That's the kind of logic that Streamlabs works by. You can say fuck, you can say shit, you can say ass. You can't say bum bum. Don't ask why. Sweet. The riverbed then is going to be sand, I think. So that looks good. So what we need to do is take this color right here. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Let's alpha lock that swine. And let's start putting in these little rivulets. So I think what I'm going to do is we're just going to go through with a nice rough evolve brush, just bosh bosh bosh. It needs to be lighter because it's down by the beach. And some of these vague lines that I put in here, I'm going to get a lighter brush like this. And then the ones next to them are going to get the next shade down to dark. Like that, and it's going to make like a little riverbank looking thing. Then we can come back in with our 50% brushes, go over it. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe it needs to be on its own layer and then we can fade it down. Is that a good idea? Because we're essentially drawing like a bunch of craggy cliff edges, right? Let me Google this. How to draw cliff edges. Yeah, we basically want like a bunch of shading. Bunch of lines, little drop downs, shade in the little drop downs, add some details. Yeah, that's what I thought, and then highlight the details. I think I'm going to have to be slightly more accurate with my crappy lines before I can actually start this. Oh, Ali, you love the grass. Fucking Streamlabs, man. Fucking Streamlabs. Oh, it definitely knows what it's doing. The grass. Streamlabs definitely knows what it's doing. It's definitely not shit. Okay, here's what we need to do. We need to make this evolve brush slightly smaller, and we need to just actually do some stuff, because I think this could work. Okay, this could work well, but we have to follow a pattern. So if that would be the light, then the dark shading would only be on like one side of it, quite thinly. But what side would it be? Because it's all catching the light from the river. I think we go through and we do all of the light first, and we just treat it like it is. You know, some of them are going to have larger segments, some of them not so much. And you follow the natural curve of the dirt. Yeah, that's looking better already. Like it's curving up in on itself. And keep zooming out to check. This whole area will be darker because it's under the thing. Do you know how to create battle maps? Yeah, we use like a software for it though. I don't draw them myself. Was it instant? That's fucking hilarious. You seem to know yours was a typo. Well, let's hide that fucking asshole too. Goddamn bots, man. I think this is one of those things that will all come together at the end, so I'm literally just going to go through and give it a go. And see what comes up with it. That's going to be a big outcropping, which means that next bit's going to have to be dark. Just so I don't forget later. And it would curve as well, because I remember that from geography. Because of the way the river erodes the banks, the top would curve, which is why I'm doing all these topped curves. Now I know my big fat boy is going to cover up all of that and there'll be a tree, so that's actually the end of it. That's actually the end of the bit that I need. So I'm going to add in some dark here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on its own layer so I don't get scared. Right, so if that would be that bit, then all we need is like to carefully and strategically put in. Let's do a reduced brush. Like 50%, yeah, that looks nicer. Because then we can layer it up a bit too. And I'll add in some smudgy shading in a moment, don't you worry. I know you're all clamoring, you're saying, Matt, where the fuck's my shading? Don't worry, I got you. I know what you all want. You all want some dirty shading. And half this will be underwater in a second anyway, so don't panic about that. Okay, don't you panic. All this is going to be behind the water wheel, so I'm not even bothered. We'll need to add in a few little rocks clinging to it. Some roots poking out. You know, these are all the details that will make it look legit. Bam. Right. Because at the moment it's too powerful. So maybe what we do is go to here. And we go to I don't know, it's like a contrast. No, there's no contrast. We'll fix it, don't worry. So we now have some shading. Right, then we need a layer that is for the bits that are underneath. So that will be a luminosity layer. With a bigger revolve brush and all this. Basically all that. And then like a thin layer along the top. Cool. Then we need another layer and we'll stick a few rocks on it. and we'll make sure it's underneath the luminosity layer. Hard light layer, sorry, my bad. Is there going to be water in there, or is it dried up? Yes, there will be water, so don't worry. You'll see in a moment this should hopefully come together and kind of reveal itself. So this will be like half underwater. Right, and then in green we want this sparse grass. Just a little bit attached to the rocks. Cool. And then on a separate layer, just to keep it safe, we'll do a tinderbox brush where we'll just have like a couple of roots. What was that? 50% still, yeah. A couple of roots just like crawling up and down. Maybe sticking out. Yeah, that's looking a bit nicer already. Don't need them obviously way in the background, just a couple. Like that. Cool, that's looking much nicer. You said this was a gnome village? No. It's like a village in a hidden forest, but the guy that owns the tea shop is a gnome. Yeah, a gnome tinkerer that makes like mechanicalized teapot tinkery things, tinkery little teapots. Cool. I know what I mean. I can do words. Right, so because this will be darker, we actually want these posts to come whoosh into the water. Like that. I'm not going to add any behind it there because I don't want the water wheel to get too busy. So we need to add the riverbed and the rocks and stuff, and then we can come in and add the water on top, and hopefully you'll see it come together and be like, oh, I get it. Cool. Though I think that works pretty nicely at the moment. Yes, we need obviously some shading on these. Sweet. Cool, cool, cool. Gonna do these couple of river stones first, and then we'll add the sand in. The guy laying down a giant or a human? He is a giant, yeah. Then the sun on the edge doesn't make sense anymore. What are we talking about, Kadalo? The sun's coming in from this way. On the grass. What? Are you going to confuse me? You're confusing me. I don't wanna listen to it. I'm getting confused and scared, like I've done it all wrong. Riverbank. under the deck. Sun on the edge. Oh, that like an extra little tufty bit of grass there. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be covered up anyway. But yeah, you're right. You're right, but who cares? Not me. I'm too lazy to fix it. Whatevs. There's going to be so much going on. But again, you are correct. Abdo, apparently you can't say ass. Streamlabs doesn't like it when we say ass. So try not to do that. Okay, I'm just going to merge those. And fuck it those, because I'm not going to change it. And fuck it those as well then. Let's just pretend that was a good shout. And we'll add in a little bit of shading on the old rocks. Just a little bit of... Nice. Looking good. Cool. Then let's go into here and we'll just build ourselves a nice rock. The answer is yes. Katala, I think you're just going to have to accept that you're way better at this than I am. And then we can both move on emotionally. Cool, that's the base forms of those rocks in. Don't say the F-bomb. You mean flip. Oh, sorry. But fuck is okay. Yeah, unless you're Jeremy, and then you can't say words. Why is there so much foul language on this stream? Everyone loves swearing, come on. Oh, you're answering to Abdo. Yeah, practice is the only thing that matters. It's because I look up Kadala and I'm like, oh, we're still talking about that thing. But no, chat moved on from that fucking hours ago. And I'm just way behind. Because I'm not very good at my job of interacting with fans. Nice, that's looking good. I like that. I like that a little bit. That's nice. Let's do a bit of highlights on those rocks, and a bit of highlight on that rock, and a bit of highlight on that. Right, those look like nice rocks to me. I'm happy with those rocks. So, up next then is adding some sand, which obviously needs to go underneath this layer. Clip. And then we're going to need like a riverbed layer that has shadows on that. So let's do the riverbed layer as this, and let's do this color for sand. Let's make a nice clean one of them. Let's pull it in. Nice. Can you see where I'm going with this now? Please bear in mind that this like encoder I use makes these colours seem way poppier on that screen than they actually are, because the encoder colours are a bit shit. You always look up a chat when it gets slow, but the chat picks up whenever you get into the zone. Well, that's natural, right? Just say fudge like the rest of us. Fudge no, you hecker. I'll swear all the ding dang day. You're the best. Well, I think that's natural, right? If I get in the zone, you guys start to chat to each other. And then when I get out of the zone, you guys are listening to me speak. So it makes sense. But I do try and get into the zone. I do try. I'm not good at it, but I try. I may tweak these colours. I'm not sure I'm a fan. But what I am a fan of is cheating using a small grass brush as a sand brush. Okay. Even when it doesn't work. It's white, it's no good. What I need is like a noise brush, I think. Textures. No, we need nature elements. Oh, we've got oceans, that could be useful later. Oh yeah, that would be real useful for the old rippling water. Remember that. Crystals, hard rain. Hard rain doesn't really work. Charcoals could work. Oh, charcoals might work. Hell yeah. Alright, let's try it. Could charcoals work? I don't know if charcoals works. I'm not sure. Or is it just because we don't like the colour? Don't know. Don't know about that. Let's add in the block water. So it'd be this colour. Let's go to inking. Water's gonna have to be in a way different folder. It's gonna have to be above the riverbank rocks. I think the water will help me define where I need to add shading and stuff. Now this was on Evolve, but it needs to now be on Tinderbox. There's that zone you guys are talking about. I was in it. What program am I using to draw this in? Go get it, lady asks. This is Procreate. Yeah, like Jeremy says. It's great software. Your stream is glitching a lot. Mine seems fine, Bumbo. It's easy to use in Photoshop or Illustrator. It's much simpler. It's very... Sorry, I was like right up on the mic when I was breathing there. That's like my biggest pet peeve as well. I think that one's fully submerged. I think those other two rocks are fully submerged. So now I know like how much detail I need to add to the actual river, right? So that's why I do it that way. And if I clipping mask with this darker color here, I do have a plan. The plan is to go organic. Oh, look at all these other organic brushes I have. Oh wow, look at all these. That's crazy. Bamboo. Oh, hang on, I need to check some of these out before I carry on. Oh, it doesn't look much like bamboo. Could be useful for the trees later on. Clay. Nah, they're like flat textures. That's lame. Paper daisy. Nah, they're too crazy. I like my other leaves. Mountain ash. That would be useful for the big trees in the background. Rainforest. Oh, that could be good for clouds. Trees in the distance and stuff too. All right, sweet. So the plan. Water bleed. Oh, that's like water, as in if you were painting water. No, what we want is elements, and we wanted this, didn't we? Adds in some darkness and stuff like that. So that's way too big. Make him smaller. Or does that just affect the brush size, not the? It'd be grain, wouldn't it? Not the grain size. Yeah. There we go. Much better. There we go. So this is what I actually wanted for the sand, I believe. Could go wrong, but my thought process was something like this would make it look like the rippled sand under the water. Like the passage of it. We've got a bit of sand, a bit of light coming in. See what I mean? Is that even showing up really on your guys' thing? Obviously we want like a brighter bit there. Cool, so that works for the sand. Then I was thinking I want it in white. And we will reset to default. How do I do that? Oh, I've forgotten grain source edit. No, I go to stroke path. How do I reset to default? Reset, there we go, sweet. Something like white on top. Set to like overlay. Or ooh. Overlay could work. But what it would need is no clipping mask. Clipping mask changes the color. We'll come back to that later on because I think I can do a lot with just adding different colored layers to this. First of all, so let's duplicate you and hide it. Not clipping mask it. Let's alpha lock it and let's go to like a darker blue, and just with a not a spray paint, it'll be under touch ups or whatever, airbrushing, there it is. With a super duper soft brush I think I can add some darkness to the river in the right spots, you know, like that. There we go. And airbrushing here as well. We want to actually, oops. We want to airbrush the original colour back in to soften up that bit. Then I think if we airbrushed in some like a very pale white, it would make the river seem much shallower. It's looking nicer. And that's the base layer that we then work on for the rest of it. So we go back to our clipping mask and we can add in some real dark. Well, maybe not that dark. Maybe there. Something like that, maybe. Looks nice. Cool. So then, one more on top. Clipping mask, white, normal ink. Then maybe not clipping mask because it makes it change the color of it. What I need now is like maybe ink bleed. No, that doesn't look right. I need like a clean pen. Maybe then I just blur it afterwards. Yeah, I think that's the thing to do. So let's get a nice clean pen. Let's stick with Tinderbox. And we need to indicate the flow of the river, right? So the way the river flows would be stuff would catch on rocks like this. And then you take the whole layer's opacity down a bit. And get your smudger out. And you smudge in one direction. And then you Gaussian blur the whole thing just a touch. Like that. Does that look better without the Gaussian blur? I think it does actually. So that's going to be the plan. I'll look up reference. River illustration. Some of the rivers that I like. But yeah, Procreate's only on iPad Pro. Yeah. So you want basically strips of white that go down the river, getting caught on stuff, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to find a nice example for me to use as a reference. That's kind of nice. That'll do. The water looks good. The water looks great. Dive in. I want a couple of leaves floating down it and stuff too. So then here's the only issue. I need to go to my house layer here and do a mask. And then with like kind of a grey, I just need to no, not a mask, excuse me. I need to go onto this layer, clipping mask it, and then with the super dark blue just paint in to add in some bits to cover up those, I think, but then we can go back to here and back to our white. There you go. Obviously you need to do some work around where the sand touches the grass and stuff like that, and we need to put some bits in the river, in like rocks and stuff in the river. But first let's see what it looks like to have a couple of leaves floating down it. So I'm going to duplicate this brush, and then I'm going to go to my scatter, really space it out. See, the trail would the trail actually be this way? First of all, you'd have a shadow of the leaf on the floor, which that looks really nice actually. So, wow, okay. Let's just like that. Let's cut that onto its own layer then. And duplicate it and stick it like down here, brightness it and opacity it, merge it, alpha lock it. Nice, that works, but then let's just reduce the opacity of that brush. Got a bit of texture on them. Cool, that looks nice. Then I can go back to this white brush here, go to inking. And would the water trail be like this because they're like traveling down the river? Yes, that looks fucking dope. Awesome, let's duplicate that a few times. Move it around the river. And then like nice, we've got some stuff floating down the river. Hell yeah. Cool, so other thing would then to be like little bits of stuff on the bottom of the river, like underneath the water. So that'll be on top of this layer. Let's just do, I don't know if I want like fish or anything in it. But what I might want is stuff like mossy rocks and things growing under there. That's a bit big, that, isn't it? River kelp, that sort of thing. So we'll take our dark green and we'll just that's a bit much. Maybe a few dots of that, but otherwise not too much of it. Looking nice. I look away for 2 seconds and bam, brand new pic. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's turning out better than I expected. Like, way better than I expected. What I do want is some... You get lots of, like, reeds growing near rivers, don't you? So I think what I want is a couple of tufts that are taller near the edges and stuff like that underneath the water, but also like growing out of some of these rocks and things. I think you get a bit like along the edges here as it got caught on stuff, I reckon. You definitely get some attached to like the shadier part of this rock. Like that. Oh, I don't know about you, but I think that looks pretty fucking good. Nice details on that river. Cool, so the only thing we need now is a little bit, I think, is it this layer? Yeah, a little bit around here at the edges. Oh, not of the grass brush. You get all sorts coming off of that bit. Some pull coming off of these two. Alright, that looks good. That's real nice. I think that's really nice. I did, however, completely forget to add that detail that I wanted to add to the house here, so let's do that. My Evolve brush. Nice. Cool. Cool, let's see if I can't tidy up this edge here then. Just under riverbank. And it'll be there. And I think with just a bit of a quick evolve. I might be able to do what I want. Cool, that looks nice. So I think what I need to make this sand look like it's blending properly is I actually need a pretty hard shadow, i.e. shift of colour. that might be best done like this, you know, to indicate that that shadow is there. So this is on its own layer, and I'm just going to run. I'm going to bring this down a bit, don't worry. Make it a bit bigger actually, because it's right close to the camera. Okay, yeah, that definitely helps. It's not all that's needed. I think it might be a bit much there. I think if we go back to that elements brush, yeah, nice. And we make it real small again.
You have your screen really zoomed far out, splitting screens and multitask with work. Before the wave ripple highlight.
I was just going around and adding these really small like lines at the edge of the waves and stuff like that, and a few tufts of grass to the water. And what I'm doing now is adding some dark or darker sand to the edges of this here. And to the far side of each of these rocks as well, because they need a shadow. As does that one, and as does all under here. Boom, baby. That's looking fucking banging. Nice. Let's collapse all this crapola. Let's merge them. I'm well happy with that river, so if I merge that, is anything going to change? Oh, something's changed then. Can merge them. And merge the sand. Nice.
Just before the small lines? I don't know. Sorry, Boot. There's been loads of times when he's like, oh, that's loads better, and I'm sitting there thinking he's either hallucinating or I am seeing a difference. You could be hallucinating, but also, obviously, I'm encoding an iPad screen, which is famous for having loads of detail, through a shitty Camlink encoder up to YouTube. So it could be that all of this nuance is just being completely lost. But if I post it to the Discord or whatever, then later on you'll definitely see all of the stuff that I'm talking about. For example, I want to add in some foresty leaves, like this one, that look pretty trash, right? Until change blending mode, and then it looks like dappled light. And then we can do the same thing to the hammock tree. Awesome, awesome. Cool. Last step for the river then, I think, is does it need this final bit? Because we have here this epic bit of darkness, and technically there should be some on this side of the river too. So if I were to bring out my drawing eagle brush and just do something like this, would it even show up? Probably not. No. Because I fucked it. Yes. Yeah, it'll only show up on the dirt because it's clipping masked. So we'd have to duplicate you, clear it, unclipping mask it. Like, for example, can you see the difference between that and that? You guys can, right? Yeah, so I think we should leave that. Cool, I think that looks pretty fucking good. Blending modes are so useful, man. Blending modes are so useful. Do you know what this stone needs, though? I know what this stone needs on the riverbank. And he's a little froggy. And he's a little froggy on a stone. Ribbit. Could be a little cute worm. No, he's a little frog. Little frog. He's tiny. You can't see him, but that's okay. Awesome. Looking good. Alright, so how long we got left? 20 minutes? Let's see what else is on the agenda for Todenda. Right, on the agenda for today, we have got boop, all sorts of stuff going on. So much stuff going on. A couple of bushes, some rocks, some trees, a giant, this tuft of land over here, this canopy over here, a hammock, a water wheel, the background. I don't know. This is all hard work. Maybe these bushes, but that doesn't seem very interesting. We've drawn a lot of bushes and sticks. What are we, Bob Ross? Let's draw this bench. Bench seems like a nice thing to draw to finish off the stream. And it should be pretty simple too.
Oh, damn. There's a nice bench.
Little Froggo, he's a good boy. There'll be plenty of teapots to go around, Jeremy, don't you worry.
Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. I need a nap after this. Nice, so that's good. That's clipping mask. Ditch the rough layer. Nice. Now we need another layer. I might be moving this bench, so I'm going to do all the shading on the bench layer as opposed to what I've done before, putting it on the sand and stuff. So that needs to go to overlay mode again. And then using Tinderbox, we can guesstimate. Where the shadow would be. Goes into luminosity mode. And we smudge him. Nice, and then if I'm clever I should be able to group that, rename it bench. And that means I should be able to reposition this wherever I want. Maybe there's a bench up here, maybe there's a bench over there. Maybe I can duplicate the bench to my heart's content. What I do need though is a little bit of sand in front of these. Nice. That looks good. In fact, it looks so good. She had a second one next to it. Up here. Over here behind the rock. Boop. Nah, that's kind of weird over there, doesn't it? Too much, delete it. Nice. Alright, this is all coming together. This is all coming together. This is... Oh, excuse me, my back hurts so much. This is starting to work, you know? What are you? What are you? Are you on my bench layout? No, thank God you are. I was about to have a little mini heart attack then. Dope. I like the ropes that tie the hammock to the trees. I think that looks really nice. Alright, boys and girls. That didn't take long at all. So what we need to do now is to draw another tree with some bark in it. How about a bush? Nice quick bush. We can definitely do a quick bush. And I can put it in the same bush layer as this bush here.
I'm going to get this bush, and I'm going to go to my bushes inside my forest bush. Let me just double check what bush I made. What kind of bush? Was it that kind of bush? Yeah, I think it was. It could be slightly larger than that bush. It's closer to the bushy camera, so. And then I'm pretty sure I went full bush mode. Like this. Oh yeah, and just bushed the crap out of it. So much bush. Bush me. You know when you say a word so much it starts to sound either rude or not real. That's happening with the word bush for me right now. Need to just highlight my bushes, and we can get rid of that rough layer. And then you'll notice that we have a little highlight layer here that uses grass to highlight said bush. So we'll do that with a little smattering of grass here. Needs to be a bit bigger. This bush is a budgeman. It's a bushman. Bit texture to the bush. No bushy texture. Bush. Then there was some grass covering the bush. That was mainly for the covering the rocks, so I don't actually need that. Unless I'm going to put some rocks in, but I don't think I want rocks over here. What I do want is to get my grass. However, I'm painting my bush shadows. What do I do that with? I'm going to do it with a hard brush like a Volve and then smudged it. Check the old sketch. Ah, there was a rock there in the sketch. Let's add a rock. Might as well, we've got the time. Alright, we added some extra bushes, just the way we like it. I think that'll do for today. I think we have made significant progress. I'm going to share this to the Discord as it is, because I think it'll be nice for you guys to see it without it being absolutely crushed by this 4K encoder. But yes, that'll do for today, because my back really hurts because I've been hunching. So, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I really appreciate it. Next week, we will, believe it or not, be playing Garlic Phone. So, if you would like to play Garlic Phone, make sure you're here next Friday for the live stream. Monday's tutorial is the final tutorial in the How to Make an Animation series. It's all about exhibiting your animations. And then that series is done, and we're moving on to some nice motion graphics stuff the week after. I've got some cool shit. But yeah, next Friday, Garlic Phone is going to be great. hopefully Josh C can make it. I haven't seen him today. Hope he's doing well. He's had a busy start to the year, huh? Love it. Love you. Love everyone. Have a lovely weekend. You're all beautiful people, and I'll see you on Monday for a tut, and on Friday for some garlic phone. Okay, bye.